They are our rock, they're our foundation, and we are theirs. And they need to be brought home where we can help take care of them.
Now at 6, a mother pleads for the return of her children who are in the custody of Child Protective Services. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says Jacqueline Davidson refused to turn the children over to CPS this weekend, forcing an Amber Alert to be issued. The mother and father of the children were both arrested for interfering with child custody, but tonight they're out of jail and they want to share their story. KENS 5 reporter Vanessa Croy has more on what they had to say.
Every time I knock on the door, they would go and run and hide.
Jacqueline Davidson says her 6 children, ranging in ages 1 to 11, have endured emotional trauma for the last 45 days.
These babies are so traumatized. I had to take 2 of them to the hospital because my 7-year-old said she'd rather kill herself than be with CPS.
In a news conference today, Jacqueline and Jamie Davidson, along with their attorney, say they're fighting back against the state agency.
And then you're being told that someone has ripped your child from your wife's arms.
Attorney Derek Ritchie said it started 2 years ago when one of the children accused an older half-sibling of sexual and physical abuse. Since then, Ritchie says the step-sibling has been living in another state. But last month, another sibling made a similar accusation.
The older sibling that alleged to have abused the child was removed from the home and has had no unsupervised contact with the children since December 2020.
Ritchie says CPS immediately removed all 6 children from the Davidson home. A few days later, they were allowed to go back home. Ritchie says visits by police after that found the children to be safe. On November 29th, a judge ruled that CPS could again take custody. Ritchie says CPS's entire case is based on notes from a therapist who interviewed one of the children. But he says that therapist didn't show up to testify at either of the hearings.
If they would have asked, they would have had everything they needed to prove that we are no threat to our children.
The Davidsons have filed an appeal, hoping they can convince another judge to review the case. Meanwhile, in the center of this battle, the 6 children who are still in CPS custody.
Our babies are hurting, and this needs to stop. They need to be brought back.
Vanessa Croy, KENS 5.
Now, we reached out to Child Protective Services, who sent us this statement, quote, "Our job is to respond to reports of possible abuse or neglect." The statement goes on to say a judge, quote, "decides if there is any further action we should take. That process was followed in this case," end quote.